To all the geeks and nerds out there, welcome back to another episode of Simply Minecraft. This is a series where each episode we take a look at the game and try and make it as easy and as simple as we can. Now, there's been a lot of requests for this one. This is a simple wither skeleton farm. And what's unique about this? Well, kind of sounds strange, but this one doesn't use wither roses. That's right, we don't need to make a wither rose farm. This one is completely without wither roses. There's no flying machines or redstone, anything like that. This just works off of mob AI. And yeah, it's pretty good. So if you want to learn how this thing works, then stick around. Now, before we do the block by block tutorial, let me give you a quick overview of this thing, show you how it works and highlight the key bits and pieces, the key mechanics that allow this thing to work, and it's really, really simple. So first of all, the rates you can expect. So for running this farm in an hour, you're going to get around about 3,000 bones, around about 1,800 coal, and of course the thing most people are going to be after are the wither skeleton skulls. You're going to get about a stack of wither skeleton skulls per hour. So based on how this farm works and the amount of effort is required, that's not too bad. So that will give you about 20 beacons, obviously once you've killed the withers in just an hour, so that is pretty good, and I think that's probably fine for most players for the single player world. Just AFK at this thing for an hour and you've probably got all the beacons you need for your world. Now let's see how this thing works. So down here, this is the killing area. We stand here with our looting 3 sword. We kill the wither skeletons that come down here. All of their items are collected by these hoppers and then go into the chests underneath. Now obviously all of these wither skeletons come from somewhere. They come from up there and they fall down this big tube. So let's go up there and check it out. So here is the killing area where we were just standing, and you can see we've already got quite a few wither skeletons have come down, and yeah, just underneath here, these are all the chests where all the goods will end up. So I've not added it here, but you'll probably add some kind of ladder down from here and some kind of platform so you can access all the chests. But we'll come on to that a bit later on. So here are all the wither skeletons. They come, as you can see, they're falling down from up there, and this is where the business happens up there. So let's scoot on up here and take a look and see what's going on. So over here, this is our spawning platform. You can see there's a wither skeleton and he's falling down there. He will get chopped up later on. But yeah, this is our spawning platform right here. All of these slabs. These are smooth stone slabs, and you can see we've got some carpets on the top, and we've got this kind of extended platform with carpets around the edge. We've got some turtle eggs and some trapdoors and bits and pieces. So how does all this work? Well, this is our spawning platform. This is built on an intersection of a fortress in the Nether. We'll come on to what that means a bit later on. But we've got these carpets down here in a particular pattern. That is to stop magma cubes from spawning because it's not so easy to deal with those. But the mobs that are left that will spawn are wither skeletons, zombified piglins and blazes. You'll also get skeletons now and again, but they're quite rare. And so basically what happens here is that when a mob spawns, different things happen depending on the mob. So if you're a wither skeleton, you spawn over here, you see the piglin over there, you're attracted to him because you don't like him, you want to beat him up, and you basically run over here and you think you can get to him because of these trapdoors. You can't, and you fall down there and then you get chopped up and hopefully your skull drops. Now if you're a zombified piglin, yours again spawn on this platform, you will notice that there is a turtle egg over here. You try and run to it because you want to trample on it because you don't like those eggs, but unfortunately you think you can get there, you can't. You try and get over there, but these trapdoors stop you. You fall down there and you land on some cactus which kills you eventually. You get prickled to death. Now if you are a blaze, what happens to those? Well, the blazes spawn in here as well, but what happens with blazes and other mobs as well, but they want to pathfind to some solid blocks. Now all of these are top slabs, so they don't pathfind to those blocks, but what they do is they notice all of these blocks we've got out here. These are solid blocks, and eventually they will pathfind to them. They think they can get there because they think they can walk through this gap here in the walls. They think they can get past the trapdoors, but they can't. So as they try and pathfind over here to one of these blocks, they again fall down here, land on the on the cactus, and yeah, meet their doom. So that allows us to clear the platform of all the mobs. The only mobs we can't deal with are the skeletons, but there isn't much we could do with those, and they don't spawn that often, and eventually they'll despawn anyway, so it's not a big problem. Now obviously we need to capture this piglin. We'll come onto that a bit later on. We also this platform over here also serves another purpose. So the first purpose is to kind of deal with these blazes. So we've got one here that just spawned, so we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens to him. But basically, yeah, as well as it being here, these blocks here for the blazes to pathfind to, they're also here to allow us to use pack spawning, which will also increase the amount of wither skeletons that spawn inside the platform. So there's some mobs over there. There you go. You see the blaze fell down there. You can see that the zombified piglins are falling down there as well, and hopefully there we go, this blaze, he's gone there as well. So of his own accord, he drops down there and meets his doom. Now there we go. So what does all this mean? Well, I guess it's time to get into the block by block tutorial, show you how to build this thing and all the steps you need to do. As usual, before we get into the build, here is the list of all the items you need. It's just a single page, there's nothing else, just what's here. So not too many blocks at all, nothing too exotic. The turtle eggs you might have to find, but apart from that, not too bad. Now, in addition to what you see here, you will also need a bunch of blocks to do some spawn proofing. So that could be buttons, slabs, or pressure plates, something like that. Also, lava will work, but depending on how your world is set up, you might want to use something different. So I've not included those here, but we'll come on to the spawn proofing a bit later on. Obviously, here we're going to need Nether Bricks. It's important that it's Nether Brick, not just any old solid block, so you do need Nether Bricks for this one. Slabs here, so any kind of slab is great, any kind of wall here is fine, any kind of glass is also fine, that's optional. I use glass because I like to see what's going on inside. Any kind of trapdoor over here, and then these other bits and pieces you need as well. Now when it comes to the chest, you might need to extend your storage. I've got just a single chest here, but yeah, you can add as many double chests as you like, and of course as many hoppers as you like as well in terms of your storage. So that's all you need, not too much, right? So I'll get this list in the description as well if you want it. So gather up all your resources and then we can start the build. The first question is, where do we build this thing? Well, head on over to the Nether and find either a soul sand valley, which is what we're in right here. You can see there's lots of soul sand all over the place, or you can find yourself a warped forest. Now, why are these two biomes useful for this? Well, this is because not many mobs spawn on the land itself. So if you look here, there aren't many mobs at all. We get the odd skeleton here and there. We also get ghasts that spawn as well, but that is about it. So that will help you in terms of spawn proofing. The same is true for the warped forest. You get endermen spawning over there, but not much else. So that really helps in terms of spawn proofing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Now what you're looking for inside this biome is a structure that looks like this. This is a fortress, and this fortress is made up of lots of different components. But the part we're looking for in particular is this. This is an intersection, and this is a crossroads without a roof on the top, and this looks like that. So that we'll talk about why that's important a bit later on, but that is what you're looking for. Now, if at all possible, you want to find your intersection as deep inside the Soul Sand Valley or the Warped Forest as you can. And in terms of spawn proofing, we're going to be standing underneath it, so somewhere around here. Now, if you imagine a sphere around the player with a radius of 128 blocks, that is where mobs can spawn. Now, if you can find yourself an intersection inside a biome and the sphere is encompassed by that biome, that means that the only thing you need to spawn proof is the fortress itself. So that is what you're after. Now it may take some time to find that, but once you found it, that is the best place to build. All right, let's get on to the spawn proofing. Assuming now that you've found your fortress in the right biome and you've found an intersection, like we've got one here, I've marked the center of it with a gold block. That's also useful to do. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, the first thing you need to do, I recommend, is to spawn proof all of the blocks that are inside this fortress that are in 128 blocks of the player. So that is quite a big area, and this may take some time to do, but it's well worth it, and that will definitely help in terms of the rates. If you don't spawn proof the fortress well enough, then that will affect the rates, and you won't get so many drops. So what you need to do is, well, you need to get some blocks that mobs can't spawn on. So some good choices are some pressure plates, obviously of any type, it doesn't matter. Now it depends on what you've got set up in your world. If you've got an iron farm, for example, like I did in Legacy, then I use these, and these are good because you can't place them on top of each other. So if I just hold down my right click button, I can just kind of move the mouse around, and even if I go on top of blocks I've already placed, you don't get double placements. The same is true of buttons. That's also a good choice. You can use buttons. You can also use slabs. The downside with slabs are that it's very easy to place two on top of each other, and then you've got to kind of do this thing where you end up placing a double and you've got to remove it. But that might also be useful as well. The other thing you can do, you can use lava. That also stops mobs from spawning. So depending on how you want to do it and what you've got set up in your world, that is also an option. You can also use light levels. So you can put down torches, and that will stop the blazes and also all the other mobs spawning. The only thing that light level doesn't stop is the magma cubes, but then you can put down some slabs here and there to stop that. That's a bit more involved to explain a bit more to it, so it might be just easier just to get yourself a bunch of buttons or pressure plates and just totally coat the whole fortress in those blocks. Now once you've done that, and that will take some time, but once you've done it, that means no other mobs can spawn in the area, and then we're ready to build our farm. So here we have it. We now have a spawn-proof fortress, and it's all quiet. There are no mobs around because there is nowhere for them to spawn, and so this is now ideal conditions. Now, before we get into the build, let me show you a little something. So I've done this before previously in the series, and that is to show you the spawning sphere. So if I stand on this gold block and hit my hotkey, we can see that this appears outside. This shows you the spawning range of mobs. This is a sphere with a radius of 128 blocks, and you can see how far out it actually comes. So this is really big. Now, in terms of spawn proofing, you don't need to spawn proof anything over here. You don't need to spawn proof any of this land sand over here. This is why this biome is super useful to use, because not many mobs spawn out here. You do get the odd one, like I said before, but apart from that, you don't need to do any spawn proofing at all. You just need to worry about the fortress that is inside this sphere. So as you can see here, I've coated the entire fortress in these iron pressure plates, just like I did in my Legacy series. But yeah, this is pretty cool. It does take a bit of time depending on how big a fortress is. So if you can find the sweet spot of quite a small fortress inside a Soul Sand Valley, and also have an intersection in the middle somewhere, then you are golden. So once you've got to this stage, and this is probably the hardest bit to get to here, but the rest of it should be quite straightforward. So yeah, let's get on with the build, and yeah, let's start it now. And so the first step is to create our spawning platform. Now this platform is going to be 19 by 19 with this block in the very center. So probably the easiest thing to do is once you've marked your center block here, count out 9 in each direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and do this for all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you do that all the way around, and then you can kind of break this down and place your slabs here. So you should have your slabs creating a 19 by 19 square with this block in the very center. So yeah, and it's going to be 9 from each side all the way out. So do that, and then fill your spawning platform in with these slabs. Make sure they're on the top, and they could be at the same level as this walkway right here. So once you've done that, we can do the next step. Once you've created your 19 by 19 spawning platform, it might be a good idea to also spawn proof this. This just makes it a bit easier to build the farm as you go. Otherwise, you'll be having mobs spawning on here, giving you some hassles as you're building the rest of the farm. So that's what I recommend. But you can do it however you like. Obviously, I'm using the same pressure plates I've used elsewhere, but you can use carpets or slabs or whatnot to do that. Now, once you've got that, you need to get yourself some nether bricks. It's important you use nether bricks. And then you need to build more platform outside of this, which is 5 wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then do this all the way around. So keep doing this all 4 sides around the spawning platform. That should be 5 deep all the way around. So now looking from underneath, you can see this is our spawning platform with the slabs, and here is our extended platform here with the nether bricks. Now what I've also done is I've just coated the nether bricks in some carpet. That's to stop mobs from spawning, but also so you can tell the difference between this area and our spawning platform over there. You can use the same method for both if you like, because what we will be doing is we'll be removing all of these pressure plates a bit later on to allow mobs to spawn. So that's what we've got to now. Once you've done that, then you get yourself your walls and come in here and place walls around the outside of your spawning platform all the way around. So if you've done spawn proofing like I have here as you build, then you'll have to remove those and then place walls along. So all 4 sides, walls all the way around. Once your wall is done all the way around the outside, we're now going to do the killing area for the zombified piglins and the blazes. So I'm going to do it once on this side over here, but you need to do the same thing on all 4 sides of your farm. So find the central point of this wall and remove this central one, and then take away the carpet from behind and place a turtle egg right there. Then if you're using pressure plates here, remove this because it will interfere with the trapdoors we're about to put down. Then dig down 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you need to put a sand block here. Then you need to remove the blocks around this one, just like that, and then that allows you to place your cactus right here. Then come up to the top. Then what you can do is you can place your trapdoors. So put 1 trapdoor here at that level, then put 1 on top of it, and then 1 on top of that, and then you can open those all up. So it's like that. Then what you can do is dig down 8 blocks on each side underneath this wall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then place a sand here, and then break away these blocks around it just like that, and then place your cactus on top of that. And then you can do that on both sides, and then once you've done it on both sides, then add walls. So it should be another 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 in total, so 3 additional onto that. So do that on both sides. So let's come up here. So remove 8 blocks from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then place your sand down first. Then your cactus, you need to remove the blocks around it to allow you to put down cactus. Now the reason we're doing these ones on the side is to make sure we kill the baby zombified piglins, because they can fit through this gap and end up falling down there. So just to make sure we get rid of all those. So drop those walls down to there, to that level, and then you are done. So do that on all 4 sides, and then we're ready to move on. Once you've done that on all 4 sides like I have here, then come to the center of the farm. We marked this block earlier on. Now place 6 blocks on top of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then get yourself some trapdoors, and then on the second one down, place them along the top of this block just here. So place 4 all the way around there, and then remove these 2 blocks. That's where our piglin is going to stand. And then on the 2 blocks here, so 1 here and 1 here, put some more trapdoors, and then open it up. So you should look like that. That's ready for the piglin. We'll do that later on. And then the next thing is going to be the killing area. Next, we need to place some walls around this central column. So come around here, remove any spawn proofing you've got around the central column, just like that. And then place 3 walls on this side, 1 at the back behind where you've had the trapdoors, and then 3 on this side like that. So the reason for that is because when we have our wither skeletons spawning over here, they will target the piglin and try and get as close to it as they can. If we leave just 1 block empty here, that means they'll try and run to this block to get as close as possible. So now we can remove this one, remove this, and also any blocks underneath. So those 3 just like that. Then get yourself some more trapdoors. Place 1 on that block there, and 1 on this block just here like that. And then we're going to add another wall there, and another one there, and also 1 underneath and 1 underneath. So then we've got 3 walls here, 3 walls here, and then also we can put another trapdoor there as well. So that should be enough to keep your wither skeletons in place. Now I've got trapdoors here, so or pressure plates should I say, so that affects that. So now just remove that and we're good to go. So now we're going to build the chute all the way down to the killing area. From under the farm now, we need to come down another 19 blocks. So get your walls and come down 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then get some glass blocks and then do the same thing all the way down the same length. Now on one side, you're going to be 1 block shorter. So we'll do that on this front side here, and then have another glass coming all the way down. This should come all the way down to the same level as the walls, just like this. 1 away, just like that. And then on the other side, we'll continue this wall down to be exactly the same as the other one. So down 19 blocks as well, down to there. So you should look something like that. And this is ready for us to create our killing area so we can get to the feet of the wither skeletons. Actually, what you can do here is just bring this glass down to be the same level. That will actually make things a bit easier. Then get yourself some slabs and then come underneath the walls, put down 2 slabs here, and then come along to there and then remove that one. So you've got these slabs like that. So this will be where the wither skeletons land. Then come around to the back and place another 3 just like that. Then get some hoppers and face them downwards on the center 2 just like that, and then on these ones on the outside face them into these hoppers just like that. Then get yourself some chests, so put double chest just like that, and then you can add as many chests underneath this as you like. So put them in this kind of snaking fashion, so all the drops then will go down to the very bottom just like this. So there you go, that's how you set that up. And then over here we then need to add a way to, or a place to stand should I say. So in line with the chest, so place down a platform just like this. And then when you stand here, you should be at feet level here, so you can hit the feet of the wither skeletons. And then I recommend boxing yourself in, so build some kind of enclosure here. So when you're standing here hitting the wither skeletons, if any ghasts are flying around, they won't shoot at you. Yeah, so just build yourself a little containment area, and you can do that however you like. The next thing you need to do is to grab yourself a piglin, which is one of these guys right here. Now, ideally, you want one with a sword, not one with a crossbow, because the ones with crossbows, while they're in place in the farm, can start shooting with the skeletons and damage them, and that's not what we want. So try and find one of these guys with a sword, and then you need to get him from wherever he spawns back over to the farm. So for us, our farm is just over there, so it's not too far away. Now, these guys only spawn in the Nether Wastelands, which is this biome here. They also spawn in the Crimson Forest, so have a look around and try and find some. So this may be a little bit tricky, so before you find one of these guys, you might want to set up like a tunnelway all the way back to your farm, so you can get this guy over. Now you can either do this you can do this in a few ways. You can get him to follow you. So if you're obviously in survival, of course, and you don't have anything gold on, then he will chase you. So that probably is the easiest way. Just get him to chase you and go over there. The other way is you can use a minecart, for example, that kind of thing. But yeah, and of course you can also put down gold ingots or gold nuggets or any kind of item made of gold, and they will run to it, pick it up, and you can lead a trail of breadcrumbs for him to follow. So once you've got him over to the farm, we'll get him into place. Now, before I bring the piglin over, I've prepared this area so we can get him into place. So what I've done here is I've removed one of the trapdoors from here so he can fit inside. And then I've also added a few leaves on this side. I'm using leaves because they're not spawnable. We don't want to be surprised with any more spawning on them. And then also a bunch of leaves over here that kind of takes us over this trapdoor and yeah, over there. So we can lead the piglin from over there up onto this ledge. And then I'm going to close this up so the trapdoor is there is closed. So now what we need to do is get our piglin and then get him to chase us along here, and then yeah, I'll show you how to trap him into place. So we're in survival and he's chasing us across this corridor now. So I'm just going to run past this onto these leaves and he will just stand there just like that. He gets trapped. He follows us. He's pretty fast. So you've got to be Johnny on the spot when it comes to running away. So we can just stand here. He's quite safe. And now you can see he's standing on this glass block with the trapdoors behind him. So what we need to do now is get a temporary block and place it behind him on the trapdoor just like that. Now he's trapped in place. He can't get out. And then what we can do is we can come around to here. In fact, let's go round and go back on top of this thing. And now what we can do is come over here, put a temporary block against that trapdoor and then place your trapdoor back over there. Then you could of course break all these leaves. He's quite safe and secure. You can close it up again and yeah, just get rid of all these blocks and we're ready to finish up the farm. The last thing to do now is to place our carpets on the spawning platform to stop the magma cubes from spawning. So what you need to do now is to come over to where you've got these trapdoors over here, leave 2 blocks, 1, 2, and then place a carpet right here. Then leave another 2 blocks and place another carpet, and you should remain 2 blocks just here. And then do that for all 4 sides next to all of these trapdoors. Once you've done that, your spawning platform will look like this. So now what we need to do is we need to place some more carpets in each of these corners, each of the 4 corners. So I'll do one of them. So come into the corner, place 1 here, then leave a gap of 2, then place another gap of 2 and place another. And then leave a gap of 2 here, place 1 here, and then line these up with this just like that. Then another gap of 2 and then put 3 down just like that in the corner. So you should have these 9 carpets with 2 blocks in between each one. Do that in all 4 corners of your farm and you should be done. With the carpets all in place, it should look something like this. And there is one thing I forgot, and that is you need to make sure you name your piglin, otherwise he will despawn. So get yourself an anvil and a name tag and name him something interesting. Fred will do. Very interested indeed. So let's give that to this guy. There he is. He is now Fred. So get rid of that. Now we can go down to the killing area. You need to obviously in survival give yourself a good way to get there. And as you can see there's a ghast flying around. So if I was in survival he would try and shoot at me. But if I stand here now, within a brief few moments, hopefully we should see some wither skeletons. There we go. They're coming down already. So now you can sit here and chop away at these guys because they're dropping from this distance. They should be pretty much a one-hit kill with any kind of reasonable sword. And if you look at what I've got here for this sword, I've only got looting 3 on it. That's the most important thing. Looting 3 to maximize the skulls you get. Obviously things like mending and sharpness and unbreaking, all that kind of stuff will also help. But yeah, looting 3 is the main thing you need. So now just sit here, chop away at these wither skeletons, and before too long you should have a bunch of skulls. And I saw one go in. Is it in there? There we go. Skull already. All right. So there it is, a super simple wither skeleton farm, one that doesn't need any kind of redstone, flying machines, rails, or any wither roses, of course. And yeah, you should be able to build this up without too much problem. Obviously, the main thing is the spawn proofing, but that is true for any kind of a mob farm design of this type. You're going to need to do that anyway. But this is a good start. You could build this first of all, and then you could upgrade to a more powerful farm later on. Now, if you're interested in more powerful farms, I've got other videos on my channel, especially in my Legacy series, where I build a wither skeleton farm that can produce over 700 wither skulls per hour. So that is pretty cool. But this is great for a starter farm if that's what you need. So I hope you find the video useful, and if you did, then please hit the like button. And if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, then get in that comment section. Alright my geeks, until next time, I will see you later.